This is the Talking Bull YouTube channel. I'm Anthony, and we're just giving you a quick update. I've been working on the Talking Bull podcast, episode 2, and as you might have known, we've had audio issues, and for some reason the video cuts through halfway, so I've been unable to edit them together properly, so I apologize for that. So for this week, and not any other time, just for this week hopefully, we will not have any video with the Talking Bull podcast, at least on the YouTube channel. You can still get full audio here and on SoundCloud. Just look for Talking Bull. I apologize if you wanted to see this face. I don't know why you would. But anyways, thank you, and please continue to like and subscribe. Thank you.
You're ready.
All right, here we go. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the second cut of episode 2 of the Talking Bull podcast. I'm Anthony. This is Nick. We're going to give you your weekly rundown of the nerdy news that we found this week and we found interesting, and we're going to talk about, as well as dive into our main topic of the week, this week being DC Rebirth. And just to give you a quick recap, we once again had technical difficulties where we recorded 12 minutes of audio and video, and my tablet...
Only about a minute and a half seemed to record, maybe none of it.
Yeah, it burnt my tablet to a crisp. It no longer plays audio.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, anyways.
So we're going to go to the topic.
Yeah, we're gonna figure out how to get all this crap to work one day, but for now we're gonna jump right into it. We're gonna start talking about Arrow and Flash. So to give you a quick update on Arrow and Flash, they were in episode 20 this week. I now know that from the first run we did, and they were both pretty solid episodes with some minor just gripes and CW writing. And CW
so we're going to do Arrow first, right?
Yeah, we're gonna get into Arrow.
What were your thoughts?
It was a pretty solid episode. I liked the setup and the premise of just how they were going to it was a more character-driven episode. So
yeah,
it was just Ollie and Felicity locked in the bunker due to Prometheus setting off an EMP that trapped them in there, wiped all their electronics, and it was just to get them kind of one in storyline to get them to get on the same page finally again, and to get Prometheus to set up for what he was doing. And before I get into that, I should tell you, everything we do today was going to be spoilers for everything. So if you don't want to know any spoilers, keep watching.
We need watching.
We need some views and we need some clicks. So everyone, keep on watching this.
Keep watching. Go watch the shows and watch us at the same time.
Exactly. Watch everything. Be up to date. Don't worry about reading. We'll spoil that for you because we don't read either. That's what the internet's for. But anyways, spoilers for everything. He's going to get Ollie's kid.
Yeah.
Who's in another town with another name, just hanging out being a kid, and away from Ollie because Ollie is subject to all of his friends dying and bad character writing. So I got that joke in twice. Wasn't funny the first time. Wasn't funny the second time. But anyways.
No, but it was a character-driven show. Not a lot of action. Not a lot of side pieces or set pieces.
Yeah, he got to use his bow though, so that was cool.
Okay, so the bow scene was pretty good at the end, right? The room is filling up with the methane gas.
Yeah,
she's like, you gotta shoot the bow at directly a 45-degree angle, and it blows up the hatch door so they can get through the sewer grate and all that stuff. But so he does it, and he hits the target, and she's like, you didn't miss. And I'm like, when has he ever fucking missed? Like, she seemed so surprised. She was like, you didn't miss.
Whoa, you got that shot. That's so good. I don't know why she sounds like that, but that's what she said.
She was like, oh, you didn't miss.
Okay, so who the fuck designed the underground for Central City? Because it looks pretty spacious down there.
It was quite large, yeah. All those
except there's weird dead ends, and you just blow out walls and another one.
Okay, so
is this going to be like another entrance into the thing now?
Probably
not. The Batcave?
Maybe. Yeah. That's where the car comes through.
If he gets a goddamn car that isn't like a stealth van that isn't stealth, I'm done.
But so
trapped in the bunker.
Cool scenes. The episode starts with a flashback.
12 months back. Right after the stuff with Damien Dark. Yeah.
And when I first went back to the flashback, I was curious as to how this was going to play out. Like, are we going to go to different points in their career or in their
just different
relationship?
Stuff. Yeah.
Or what? Or like we're 5 seasons in, so you can do that standard flashback episode.
Yeah.
But it actually played out well because they kept going back to that same night.
Yeah, it was a one night based on right after their relationship ended. She found out about the kid and can't trust Ollie because he's a big liar.
And it was I like that. You got to see like what would have been like one of their last few moments of being happy together before it started to separate when we picked up with them in September again.
Yeah,
and shit was already shady, and then obviously the course of the season drove it in drew a further wedge between them, right? Especially last week when she drew that fucking line. He was so willing to forgive on that line. But
he's like, here's the line. Cool.
One little thing that I was like, how the fuck did that happen? Like, when, or two things I just thought of it, both involving the same object. Miss Terrific's balls.
Yes. When did he get one? Or when did Argus get one?
When did Argus get one?
Yeah.
And how did he know where they were going to go in the tunnel to blow out that part of the wall at the end of the episode? Or was that just coincidence that they were going in the same way as they were coming out?
Well, I can answer that with one simple question. Writing.
Bullshit reasons.
And Argus.
Yeah.
Argus, as I said in the 12 minutes of lost audio, is basically there whenever they need an easy out.
Yeah.
They are the Deus Ex Machina of conveniences.
For Arrow, definitely.
They are there because reasons. It's a time travel for the Flash. It's the same thing. If anything they can't figure out or they need tech-wise, Argus is right there.
Yeah.
When he lost this T-Sphere that he just created 2 weeks ago, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember him leaving one behind. Like,
no,
if you have your balls with you, but he doesn't. He just was like, I left one somewhere, and I never thought of looking for it.
Maybe his husband took one in the divorce.
Maybe he got half his stuff, and then he pawned it. Then the husband pawns it, right?
No, Argus just went and stole it. He's fine. No one makes any money. I don't know what these characters do. They don't make money.
Financially? No, none of them have jobs.
No.
Well, the
Lost Audio.
The Lost Audio, you mentioned that
the Arrow Cave is off the grid. Which I always wondered how they were able to have so many LED lights in this goddamn thing. There's an LED on an LED just to know that it lights up. This thing looks like the goddamn ship on the Enterprise. There is so many lights, and like even their costume have lights. And do they every time take the suit off and throw it on there and then put it back on? Like, what if there's like they go out, they stop the bad guy, and then they immediately have to go back out? Did they just like put it back?
Oh, they hang it on that dummy all the time.
Yeah. I'm like just like.
Yeah.
I come home and change and throw my shit on the floor.
Oh yeah, my superhero costume would be on the floor too.
Yeah, 100%. Mine too. Like I would just pick it up and go, yeah, that's okay. I'm good.
Just give it a quick wait. I'm like, hey, the building's burning. I gotta go. Like I don't have time to watch this.
If your suit is burning when you put it on, you should probably get into
the building.
No, I'm going. But you said your suit is burning. You should probably get looked into that. So yeah, Arrow. It wasn't bad. It was a great character moment. I think towards what you mentioned in the Lost Audio was that you wanted it to be a more balls to the wall, this is almost done type of episode.
It should be.
Where I had said that I think this was the last kind of character building to get everyone, well, at least all the Felicity,
the status quo
on the same page to set up towards the final fight, so they are with each other when they go to take on Prometheus at the end of the season and ultimately defeat him. So.
Yeah, hopefully it works out. I just felt like it wasn't a bad episode. It was a really good episode, but like I said, going this late, it better be the last one of this slow-paced character one.
Yeah, I think it will be.
There's only 4 left now.
Yeah,
and you got to go full balls to the wall to finish on a high note.
I think they will. They're going to. They've seen to everything's being set up towards. All the dominoes are being knocked down towards the end of the season.
Yeah, so hopefully balances out.
Yeah, so it was a good episode. I'm glad I actually watched it this week.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you last week, I did not watch the episode. He gave me the recap. But
so,
it sounded like an okay episode.
Yeah.
But, okay, let's move on to The Flash.
Yeah, Flash.
And my big thing from the Lost audio and even this audio is I am so proud of Barry because he finally was The Flash. He figured out shit on his own without anyone telling him. And I'm like, props to you, bud. You're supposed to be the main goddamn hero of this show. And no one had to tell you how to be a superhero.
Or how to just use your fucking mind. You're just slow down and fucking think.
You just told the Flash to slow
I know.
down.
Well, everyone else is telling him to run. That's the fucking problem. Everyone else tells him to run faster.
Iris probably tells him to slow down too.
Slow down and just fucking think. Just think about it, and you can figure this out on your own. It's like tying your shoes, taking your first steps, one step at a time. Just think. And he did. And he did, and he figured it out, which was awesome.
Great. You saw him piece together all the most obvious clues on the planet to where the villain, Salazar, by the way, for those who don't know, is Barry from the future. Even farther from what it seems than emo Barry we saw last week. Mm-hmm. Which is great. His face is all fucked up and shit.
It's all burnt on half his face.
Yeah. I guess he just tripped into the toaster while he was running.
Maybe.
That's why he's all mad at the world.
His road rash?
Yeah, his wife died and then he tried to make toast and just tripped on the cat or something.
So, like...
Don't even try to figure out time travel because I can see your brain trying to wrap around it.
Figure out what was and what is and what shouldn't be anymore.
Yeah, because in the episode, there's...
Would Salvatore Barry have lost Iris?
I think so, because...
To himself?
Yeah.
So that must be like a fixed point. It has to always happen.
Do they have fixed points in The Flash? Because I know in Doctor Who...
They make shit up as they go along.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm just saying, like, if future Barry, which is the furthest version of Barry we see, if Salvatore Barry is lost Iris to Salvatore, Salvatore's always there then. Salvatore is, like, would always fucking happen.
Yeah, The Flash treats time...
But I'm pretty sure in 4 episodes they'll fuck it up. And by saving Iris, instead of doing the thing that they should do and let her die, they'll save her, which would then fuck up time for everyone trickling after them, right?
He's such a romantic.
So
let her die.
They fucking should do something creative and different, and
as
stick
they have
to it.
said, they have thrown the book out the window.
Yeah, they thrown the comic book right out the window.
They're like, "This is what you want us to do. Goodbye." It's like the script I read off earlier that said the intro that I screwed up the first time. I threw it over there.
Yeah, so Barry figures it out. It's himself. Way deep in the future. We don't know how far.
No, I'm still digging that suit. His
Salvatore
suit.
Yeah,
they have an actual
suit as opposed to a CGI version. Because you see in the flashbacks when Barry's thinking about it, you go back to those first few episodes where it was CGI, and it looks really bad.
Where he's a Decepticon.
Yeah, exactly. He was working for the Megatron.
Yeah.
And
that'd be a good.
It did look really bad, but then once you have the practical suit, it looks a lot better.
Yeah.
And side episode. Well, not side episode. Main point of the episode.
Joe
saving
and his girlfriend.
Yes.
That is the main point.
That's the main point. Again, I scrubbed through that. I didn't watch it.
Frost, Joe loves his girlfriend. It's touching.
I skipped it.
I hate that. It's just,
I didn't care for that.
Why?
I didn't watch it.
Okay, I get it.
You got 45
drama
minutes.
in CW, but I hate that CW shit where they just shoehorn in
a relationship.
We need a relationship problem. You have several relationships problem. Your main character.
You have one with the show and its audience. How about you fix that one?
We love them.
How about you fix that relationship between the show and its audience?
My favorite relationship on the show. Words are hard. Relationship on the show is Wally West and his girlfriend Jessie Quick because they just go to another Earth and we don't
they just write them off. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, how convenient. The other speedsters are just not there for the episode. By the way, how useless is HR? Like, what is his point?
He's funny.
He's not funny.
And Tom Cavanaugh is funny. I like him being on the show. But
could they have
they've gone out of a way. They've gone out of a way of using him, but he serves a point. Like, he actually doesn't bother me. He serves no point, but it's like that's the point. It's almost like Seinfeld. The point of the show being no point. His point is not serving a point, and they hit that.
You hate characters that are in this show for having all the characters in this show.
Yes.
But you're okay with the character whose fucking point is to have no point.
Yeah, because
he doesn't
have a point. Yeah, because he doesn't have a point that affects Barry. That's the point. Okay. No, just go with me. Him being there doesn't stop Barry from figuring shit on his own.
But
Barry has to be dumb for the rest of he had one smart moment at the end of this fucking episode in 3 fucking seasons because everyone else has to tell him what to do so that they can get paid and have lines in the fucking show.
Yeah.
HR doesn't need that because he's not fucking smart. So he can just be there as dumb comic relief and it's good. I like it.
But you don't need dumb comic relief. You've got Cisco for that, and I actually like his character.
Cisco he's on the fritz. Like, I'm hit and miss with Cisco sometimes.
I like his...
I don't always like his pop cultural references.
Yeah, they do. They're
trying
to be like, I'm cool.
Look at me, and I'm Terminator or whatever. You know, he starts naming shows and movies, and it's like, oh, okay, like.
I'm just gonna sit here and quiet for a moment and let everyone realize the irony of the statement we just made.
Yeah. I am aware of the irony.
Okay, I just wanted to throw that out there. By the way, we can't sit quietly because this is an audio podcast sometimes, and that would just be really bad. But no, I actually liked his arc in this episode of not.
Oh no! In this episode, I get the arc in this episode. Yeah.
Draco, his character.
What the fuck is his name on the show?
I have no idea. Have they said it?
They had to have.
I swear to God, they have not said his name. They probably have. I mean, I just don't remember it.
I can't find Draco. Yeah.
So Draco starts calling him out on his bullshit. He's like, "You had the shot
to have a nice bromance
twice." And my whole thing would be, he knows probably that he's going to lose his arms at some point. So I'd be a little hesitant to be taking shots.
I would take her out first before I lose my arms. Yeah,
that's true. But, you know, the friendship that they have for all these years, even before we meet them, they're friends and whatever. So he's hesitant to take down his friend, which I understand that completely. You don't want to hurt your friend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes you do, but not always. And he's afraid his powers are so wildly sometimes inconsistent, and he doesn't know how to fully control them as of right now, that he may end up killing his friend.
I get it.
Which I understand. But he's all pissy with Draco because Draco's like...
Turned her into frost by taking the necklace off of her, the pendant.
Because you can't... By the way, when she stabs Barry in the leg, I was like, good for you, that's awesome.
That was pretty cool. So, Killer Frost, couple things.
Iceman.
Really cool scene. I like that.
She was Iceman.
Yeah. I like the riding the ice wave thing through Central City.
I also like that she's...
And it looks good, too.
Smart. Yeah, it did. She's smart enough to know that Barry's leading her back around to get punched out by Cisco.
Yeah.
And by the way, my first reaction to that scene, other than, oh, this is cool, was, why doesn't Barry just hit her?
He looked like he was pretty close a few times, but...
He's I don't want to hit her. I'll make Ramon.
Because you gotta have other characters do stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the thing. That's why, HR doesn't need that. Barry could have been the hero and hit her and took her out.
Yeah.
But you have other characters, other heroes, so we gotta divvy it up. You gotta split. I'm not fast enough to hit her, so I'm gonna slow her down so that you can hit her.
Team Flash more than I like Team Arrow. They actually seem to serve their purpose.
Yeah, they are a better crafted team.
Because Barry, while being smart, is not...
Oliver's first team was good. The second team isn't that good. Like, I liked Roy.
Yeah, Roy was good.
And even Thea.
Yeah.
She was good as Red Arrow or Speedy.
It took a while for her to get
decent. Took a while, but I like them and stuff. The second team's not hitting it for me. But, anyways,
basically
another thing...
Magneto helmet and Wild Dog they could get rid of and I'd be okay.
Yeah. Magneto.
Fucking hate that costume.
I'm tired. I really want a definitive answer to the will she or won't she stay Killer Frost.
She won't. 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 She won't There's not enough for the actress as a character to do as Killer Frost.
Then she gets written out and only as a villain and comes back a couple times a season a show. Like, that's what you got it. Like, we've known
you're giving the show.
We've known since they cast the fucking show, though. They cast the girl and said Caitlin Snow. It was only a matter of time before she becomes fucking thing.
That is the problem right there. Is they cast her as Killer Frost and then fucked it.
Yeah, they cast her and said Caitlin Snow. So you're like, at some point she's gonna be Killer Frost.
Which was so
and
dumb.
now they do this. Will she? Won't she? Does she have heart? Does she love them? Does she hate them? Does she?
Why do her powers
Shut the
make
fuck
her
up.
an
a
evil
bitch? Yeah, I have no idea why she like.
She's like, I'm Killer Frost now.
It's like a personality.
Yeah, she flips, and I'm like,
I don't know.
This necklace prevents you from being batshit insane. Okay,
yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Well, it's the Philosopher's Stone, and Malfoy got it from Harry Potter.
They called it the goddamn Philosopher. Look, I'm an asshole with or without a watch. Like, if I put it on, I'm all of a sudden not a nice dude. Like, I don't fucking stupid writing. CW does some stupid ass shit sometimes.
They have some weird loopholes that they use to write themselves out of.
Yeah. All right. Well, on to Supergirl now, right?
Yeah, Supergirl. I didn't watch it. Did you?
You stepped right on my feet. So Supergirl airs on Monday, and that's when it aired. So enjoy it.
There you go. So news of the week.
Also, I'm pretty sure Gotham is on then.
Monday night.
Agents of
I used to watch Gotham. I watched the first 2 seasons.
Yeah,
season and a half.
I watched it before it became Batman's gonna beat up old people. Because all of his villains are there, but I'm not getting into that because that's a whole.
We haven't watched it in a while. I think if you watch watch Gotham, you got to look at it as an Elseworlds. It's just like a one-off.
But it's stupid.
It's a one-off story.
It can be.
It's supposed to be really. From what I hear, though, the villain side of it is really good.
Yeah, but the story's stupid.
And just ignore. I would watch it, but I would skip all the parts with Bruce in it. Anyways, moving on.
Batman Beats Up Old People, season 4. Alright, so moving on.
News.
So that's the end of our rundown of kind of Arrow. So now we're moving on to our news topic, and we'll start off with the big thing that kind of affects everything was the writer's strike not happening. They agreed to an agreement with their union, so there will be no writer's strike. Which
Thank God!
Is fucking awesome, because for those of you who don't know, or don't watch a shit ton of TV, like we do, or movies, or basically anything with a decent writer in it, or any writer for that matter, no writer stock.
Yeah.
Because you need the writers to write stuff, and if they're on strike, bad things will happen, like the last time. So basically, I'll give you, for the writers' agreement, it had to do a lot with the shortened seasons of things, being 12 episodes or 6 episodes as opposed to your average
standard 24.
And they're not getting as much money as they would for the longer runs of shows. So they wanted some sort of deal.
Compensation.
Basically
in the middle.
Exactly. To get more money and stuff like that. And just so they could work better and stuff like that. So
the deal was reached.
I lost my train of thought.
Thank God.
Yeah, the deal was reached. They now allow them to get more money. They get increased minimums for writers. They get improved health plan, and they get better job protection during parental leave, and increased residuals on, I think, online content and more stuff on Netflix, stuff like that.
Yeah, there was a big Netflix push on it too.
Because as shows, I think, move towards
that medium,
Hulu, Netflix, DC's, Amazon's thing, all that stuff. Shows are going to be shorter. There's going to be more of them, and they're going to just. And
what I found interesting is let's say you write for Arrow.
Yeah.
And you work maybe August to February, because they're always ahead, right?
Yeah, they're always taped ahead.
So when you're done in February, you can't. If you write for Arrow, you cannot work for anything else between February and August.
Yeah, because they might need you to.
No, it's just they won't need you. They won't, because that's the thing. That was the issue.
That's the issue?
Yeah, because it's not that they will need you, because they didn't want to pay you, but they don't want you working anywhere else. You weren't allowed to go work during the off season.
Oh, okay.
So, like, an actor can go and book a movie for the summer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they
and then to come back and do the movie, and come back to the show.
Okay.
The writers couldn't do that with the last. They weren't allowed. Yeah.
Okay. You think in the 8 things I read, they would have mentioned that?
Yeah. If they wrote for a show, they weren't allowed to go write somewhere else.
Yeah. Okay.
In between.
Oh, they can do that now?
I don't know if that was resolved in this new contract, but I know in the old one that
they get them more money, so they should be okay then.
Maybe that offsets them not working for those. You know, maybe that's part of it. Maybe if you pay me more, they work.
If you want actual like news on
what
the deal was, look it up. We are obviously not equipped to give you the full rundown.
We're not lawyers.
We're not lawyers.
It's wordy.
People,
They have big words and I can't sound them out.
I barely got through weekly and residual. But, basically, no writer's strike. Writer's strike bad. The last time we had a writer's strike, it killed Heroes, it killed Terminator, and it killed it killed the first Justice League movie.
Justice League Mortal.
Which actually might not be a bad thing, because from what I saw in that movie, it was not going to be good.
I'm intrigued. I've seen parts of the
documentary coming out.
And that documentary is supposed to come out. It took a long time for the Superman Lives one to work. And come out. So maybe this one comes out. Hopefully it does. If it does, I'm definitely gonna buy it.
Oh, definitely.
But there were some parts of it that seemed interesting. Some parts that were like, oh, god, that's different.
Yeah, definitely.
And then, but you never know. You never know how it would have worked. It would have come out at a time before you wouldn't have had all these other ones to judge it with.
Exactly.
Too. So it's hard to say exactly how. Like if that came out 2008, like it was supposed to, or 2009, it would have been fucking huge.
The writer's strike was 2007.
So the movie would have been 2008.
Yeah, exactly.
Or something
it was around that time.
Because they stopped it just weeks before it was supposed to film.
Yeah, which was weird because the writer's strike was already over. They already had a good chunk of the script. So they're just trying to axe it.
So the movie would have been huge.
So basically the writer's strike killed Heroes because it effectively stopped at mid-story. So there's a whole other half to a story that didn't air. And then it killed Sarah Connor Chronicles from Terminator. It basically gave it a mindless gap where no one had anything. So when it came back, there was nothing. There was a bunch of big movies that summer that were affected by it. Like the first Star Trek was affected by it, which that movie ended up being good.
Yeah, that one turned out pretty good, even though it must have been lightly affected or lightly affected.
Yeah, well, basically, I read a thing from JJ and his producer, and if you're wondering what I'm doing, my mouse died. Goddamn tech issues, Jesus. And they basically said,
how to find them.
Yeah, honestly, they said that if they wanted to change something in the script, they couldn't.
Yeah.
So whatever script they had, that was it. So luckily that script turned out decent. Terminator, Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen sucks because of it. X-Men Origins Wolverine, G.I. Joe, Terminator Salvation, and Dragon Ball Z. All these movies sucked because of the writer's strike.
Well, I don't want to give them a pass.
I'm giving some of them, X-Men probably would have been fixed, and maybe G.I. Joe, but Terminator Salvation and Dragon Ball Evolution sucked on so many different levels. There was no way the writer's strike was going to get them.
But then that means Terminator Salvation sucked before the writers.
Yeah,
because
whoever wrote that did a shitty job.
Yeah.
I don't. If you're offended, I'm sorry. That movie was awful, and that guy is a shitty writer.
I just don't know why you would choose to put your movie on a failed prototype.
Yeah,
that's all it is. It's on the T700s or something, because Terminator, Arnold's the T800, right?
Yeah.
So this is would be the T700 where they still left his heart in him, which was a flaw. So let's build a movie around a flawed character
who didn't know he was a goddamn Transformer,
the one that everyone wants to fucking see,
yeah,
and make him the focal point of the movie. Anyways, sidetrack. So, fuck.
And Dragon Ball was
Dragon Ball. I never watched Dragon Ball.
It was fucking awful.
I knew that was going to be bad.
Yeah. So another movie news, we got two big kind of things out of the DC camp. So this is you got to take this with a grain of salt, because this happens every time a goddamn movie comes out, and that's a big superhero one. The Lego sets come out, and they're like, oh, this is what the character's going to look like. So
or this is a plot point in the character, or something
It
like that.
never is. So we got kind of a look at Steppenwolf in the movie, and It kind of looks like him.
2.5 inches of him.
Yeah, all 2.5 inches of him. That's all you need.
That's what I tell her.
I don't know. Anyways, I'm getting us back on track. So we saw 2 inches of Steppenwolf, and he's a pretty solid band. No, nothing for the band joke?
No.
His name is Steppenwolf. It's stupid. Okay, anyways. We saw him. He kind of looks like it. It probably will look nothing like that. These Lego sets never look like anything, and that was all the news on that. I just wanted to throw that out there. Stop making Lego sets look like things that aren't going to be
Well, no, stop. You can keep making Lego sets.
Well, no, make Lego
but don't
sets
make the connection between... Don't have everyone think, oh, this is what the movie's going to be about because the Lego fucking...
There's a chase scene with Ultron on a motorcycle, and he's going to fight Captain America, who's in a helicopter.
Because that's the picture on the fucking box or whatever.
As we know, Ultron rides a motorcycle.
He does. Throughout the whole movie, he's riding a motorcycle in the whole movie.
That probably... Well, that would have been a better movie.
It would have been. So...
Wild Hogs.
Another piece of news.
Yes.
Aquaman.
Gonna suck. I mean, what?
Finally started production. James Wan tweeted out a photo with the Aquaman codename Ahab on it, on the clapboard. And then a little while later, WB issued the official press release saying that principal photography has begun on Warner Brothers Pictures' action-adventure Aquaman, helmed by James Wan, The Conjuring films, and Furious 7. Jason Momoa stars in the title role, returning to the character he plays in this fall's Justice League.
So how are they going to write Roman Reigns off the TV?
He'll probably have a back injury or something like that.
I like that we make jokes that everyone's like,
that no one else will get. Interesting, I remember reading this, but it was never confirmed that she was in it, but Nicole Kidman is in fact playing his mother in the movie. Yeah, there were rumors of it.
I thought they did confirm that, though.
I never saw it confirmed. I saw strong rumors saying that she was in it. Maybe even something saying that she was talking about it in the same week or two, couple days when all that news came out. But I never saw a final confirmation. But then it was in the press release that Nicole Kidman is playing his mother, which I was like, oh, that's cool.
Okay.
What do you got? What else you got for news?
So we got the image from that. We got a Tick release date, August 25th. Not much on that. The show will be, I think 6 or 12 episodes on, I believe, Hulu.
No, it's Amazon.
Amazon. There's so many of these, I can't keep track of them.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of news on that. That was pretty much it. They put out that. Game news, we have kind of gearing up towards Injustice.
Wally Pfister, directs The Tick, and he was the guy that filmed the Dark Knight trilogy with Christopher Nolan. I think it's one of his first.
So it's going to be super dark, and
directing,
the third episode will suck.
It's one of his first directing projects. I think he did a movie after Rises.
Okay.
But yeah, he was a new director.
All right, so there's some more information on the Tick.
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
Okay. Also, for gearing up towards Injustice, which is sequel to, or Injustice, gearing up towards that, is sequel to Injustice 2. They revealed the Joker this week, which seems to be, according to at least everything, a resurrected Joker from the main Injustice timeline, I guess. I'm not sure how they bring it about.
Yeah, I don't know where he comes into play on this.
Me neither, but he looks like it looks like a combination between Leto's Joker and every other Joker.
He does. He does remind me a little bit of Leto.
Yeah. It was first leaked on like a French, I think Reddit, so it was all in French, and everyone thought he was Le Joker.
Le Joker.
Le Joker. But so there was just if you want to check that out, that's up every.
It would have been La Jokie, right?
No, we're moving on.
Okay.
And then just I think yesterday or today, they released the first 3 DLC characters for the game, being Red Hood, Starfire, and Sub-Zero.
I know it's important to the lore of what these games represent and who does them.
Sub-Zero?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really. I mean, it's cool because he looks badass.
Yeah, but so like that's why he's there. Where I'm like, I didn't really play Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
So I just want, like, another DC character. I don't want the Sub-Zero character.
See, that was the big thing with the first time when they put Scorpion out. They were like, oh, you're using one of the DLC slots for Scorpion. And then they released 8 more DLC packs of characters. So it wasn't...
Yeah,
this
like they're not holding a spot.
This time from the get-go, there are so many characters on the main roster.
In this game.
And there are so many characters. I think there's 9 DLC characters. So literally there's 8 plus Sub-Zero, so I was okay with that.
Yeah.
So that game comes out May 16th.
But I just want Sub-Zero to be the only one.
Yeah, he'll be the only one. That's what they did last time.
Yeah, they only put the one, so I'm hoping
I can't see them doing it again.
Don't stick in 2 or 3 of them, you know?
Yeah, so that comes out May 16th. We're hoping to figure out how to shoot a Let's Play. So we will give you guys some...
I'm sure it won't work the first 3 times we try, and it'll take us about... What we think will be a 10-minute setup or hour setup will take us like a day and a half.
So we're hoping to give you some footage on that. So that would be cool to watch me kick his ass, because that's what usually happens when we play a fighting game.
I like to let him win. He cries if I...
Would you like to play Assassin's Creed, and we'll show you how Altair jumps?
Assassin's Creed, that movie was fucking horrible.
So, before we get into the main topic, I just want to give you guys kind of a rundown of what happened to us when we tried to watch Assassin's Creed. There was basically no subtitles in the past, so we kind of just guessed the story. So it was kind of
just like
Mowgli hanging out with Jesus while he was being saved by the assassin while fighting, Genghis Khan?
Yeah, I think so.
If you've ever
seen the one guy from, like, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And it was just like...
If you ever see this movie, don't
see this movie.
But just imagine that running through your mind as you watch scenes in the past, and
just mute it. If you want to have fun, because the movie's not enjoyable. So here's the way you do it. I'm looking right at you. Here's the way you do it. When you go in the past, you mute the movie.
Yeah.
Make up your own fucking story.
Yeah.
With what you see in the visuals, and then when you go back to the present, you unpause it, get a little bit of story, realize that you're not fucking it up by doing that in the past.
Yeah.
And when you go back to the past, do the same thing. It makes the movie bearable. Yeah. Otherwise, it would have been fucking bad. I would have shut it off, actually. Yeah. Had that not happened, I would have shut it off.
Luckily, sometimes we're funny or think we're funny. So before we get into that, there's a little bit of comic news. Comixology and Marvel have teamed up on their unlimited digital subscription to give some graphic novels and single issues a run on Comixology Unlimited for the subscribers. It's going to have a mix of classic titles and little but farther back ones, as well as some of the new titles, and a handful of the Star Wars comics. I think this is cool because it gives...
That's pretty cool. Like, the moment DC does this, I'm on board.
Well, see, here's the thing. Marvel already has its own online thing, and they're about 6 months behind.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is just to give readers a chance to catch up on other stuff and have it all in the same place, as opposed to being on their own platform. Because this has Dark Horse, Valiant, Image, IDW, and a name I'm not even going to try to read, subscriptions on it. And it just gives them, I think it gives Marvel the ability to get to more readers if they're not picking up actual physical copies of books.
Yeah.
It's not, and I don't think they want to shoot themselves in the foot by
print media is dying.
Yeah.
So
it is. Yeah. So my point being, I don't think they wanted to shoot themselves in the foot by having their characters all in one spot, and this way more people can read stuff. And
put it out in more places, more people can read.
That's what I'm trying to get to. I lost my point.
I'm with you.
This guy's making jokes while I'm trying to read.
I'm making jokes. Print media is dying. What you're reading doesn't exist.
Fake news! We're Canadian. Fake news doesn't affect us. For now. And then the big spoilers coming out of Secret Empire is Captain America has gunned down execution-style Rick Jones. He's dead. He ain't coming back. At least until Legacy launches and they relaunch everything. But I guess this was picked up by a lot of major news networks this week because it was Captain America killing a guy basically in a firing squad execution, which I could see people not liking because I guess there was some backlash to it. But I get it. It was getting to show that Cap is not fucking around. He's like, I'm here, I'm doing this, and that's all there is to it.
It's always funny when mainstream media picks up something out of context, because you gotta remember, they haven't read the rest of anything except like those 2 pages that get sent to them, like where Cap is pulling the trigger and the guy's laying on the pavement or whatever, however it fucking looks.
When Batman died?
Batman
died in the helicopter crash. We're like, no, he's trapped in the past or some bullshit.
Yeah, he was trapped in the past and traveling through time and all this stuff. Anyways, Omega beams and whatever.
Yeah, and then...
But like, that's all it is like, they catch one word and they're like, this is hot news, so print it, Batman's dead,
I can't tell you how many people I explained when Spider-Man died in the Ultimate Universe, that it wasn't Peter Parker dying in the main universe, it was an alternate universe where Miles Morales took over and Parker dies. But I'm like, no, man, Spider-Man's still alive for a while, and then he was taken over by Dr. Octopus. So that's your big news on Secret Empire. I have not read the issue yet because with comics I'm always 6 months behind. Not because
you read on the Marvel system, the 6 month behind program.
And not just because I am on that system, it's just because I don't read the books because I'm doing other things.
Yeah, time.
Isn't that a great as a comic book fan? I'm like, read books! Just take 6 months, it's cool.
Time's a bitch, just don't have time to do everything.
No, I have tons of time, I just don't. I got games to play and things to read that are books. So that's kind of, any more news you want to throw out there? I think that was
I'm good on news.
Alright, so that's going to wrap up our news topic for this week. If you guys ever have any news stories you want to throw at us, for all 9 of the people that follow us on various social media, just throw us a question and we'll look into it and maybe answer it for you. So now, we're going to jump into our main topic this week, which is DC going out of its way, basically bend over backwards, which is Rebirth, to fix everything they fucked up with the New 52. And I give them props, I'm going to say, basically, for fixing things that a lot of people had problems with the 52, and
fixing them well. Yeah. So I want to read this. It says DC had done reboots in the past. They did them in '86, which was after Infinite Crisis. They did them in '94. I don't know what that would have entailed. 2000s
on multiple Earths or something.
It's always a crisis. So '86, '94, 2006. Which was
52, right?
The 52 in the Infinite Crisis.
Yes, that's it.
And then 2011, which was Flashpoint / New 52.
Okay.
And then,
I got you.
So they have done them in the past. I would say the '86 one was pretty successful after Crisis of Infinite Earths.
Well, they were just trying to knock down some of
they became too powerful. They became too many characters, and they were too powerful. So they used it as a way to narrow it and shrink it. That one was pretty good. I'm gonna say the '94 and 2006 ones weren't successful because they kind of just blew over them really quickly.
Yeah, they were just like, hey.
But I'm gonna say that 52 was successful when it launched.
Yeah.
And what it did was particularly the idea of canceling its 2 longest books, Action Comics and Detective Comics, both canceled and renumbered as number 1.
I was not a fan.
A lot of people didn't like it.
I don't like it when they get rid of it.
A lot of people didn't like it, but I gotta give DC props for holding to it, and
for as long as they did,
and sticking to their guns of we're canceling fucking everything. Everything is not going back to number 1, even Action Comics, even Detective Comics, which is DC, so
that's where you got DC from.
Action Comics ran from 1 to 904.
Yep.
And then it was canceled. Detective Comics ran from 1 to 888. Batman appeared in the first issue, which was 27.
Yep.
So Batman owned Detective Comics from 27 to 881. And then they break for the 52. Then they jump back into the old numbering system with Rebirth. but they closed the gap of the 52. So when Action ended in 904, Rebirth came in at 957.
Yeah,
so,
they jumped to that, right?
Yeah, they jumped to the old, or the previous numbering systems for those two books.
Yeah, because now they've merged all those things. They're very slowly weaving this intricate kind of story.
And all of it hinges on Superman, which I like, because he was the biggest problem of 52.
Yeah, well,
he wasn't Superman. He wasn't the Superman. This is a topic all over modern day Superman. He wasn't the Superman everyone fucking thought of, and everyone saw, and everyone believed in.
Reeves
exactly, which is the idea of same with Henry.
He was that brooding asshole one we saw in the current slate of DC films.
So he wasn't that Superman, and everyone was like, "Well, this isn't the Superman I grew up with. This is he wouldn't do this. He wouldn't do this. Why is he with Wonder Woman?" Which I fucking loved. I loved him and Wonder Woman though. That was
love
awesome.
it all you want.
I've read. It's gone. I know it's gone. But I've actually read those comics, like the Superman Wonder Woman comic, 3 times completely through. I don't read books. Look at the look on his fucking face right there. Did you see that? Get the one. Get the one. Did you see the look on his face?
We don't have a one.
We only have one.
Camera.
Look at the one. Did you see the look on his face? Yeah. I read that stream of books 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't read anything.
Exactly.
You don't even read the things.
I don't even read the monthly and the weekly ones, but I read that whole set 3 times.
You read
really
fucking 1,
good.
right?
I've read some of Rebirth. I read the first
I flipped through it. No, I read.
I read
I read Rebirth.
I stopped getting comics, but
yeah. Yeah, me too.
I read the first 6, maybe 8 issues, because they started doing double issue, 2 issues a month.
I hate
so
that.
I think I read the first. I might have even read the first 10, because I think I did it for about 5 months.
Yeah, I did it for
after. Yeah. So I think I might have read the first 10 issues.
That's what the internet's for.
And but it was good. I was enjoying it.
Yeah.
And then I was enjoying 52. I've read most of 52. I read all the big plot. Events. Each event that came through the series.
I don't normally read DC on a main level, but I do read Batman, and I was checking in on Superman because it was okay. But I usually read the main crossover, the big crossover stories, and Green Lantern, because I like those. Green Lantern's usually consistent across the board.
Yeah, that was actually the one character that I stopped reading during 52 was Lantern.
He seems
there
very
were too many.
He wasn't
There were
really
too many
affected either.
He wasn't really affected of 52, and then there were a lot of other characters.
There's
and
so many Green Lanterns.
Separate books. There were a lot of Lantern books that I just couldn't keep.
I just read
keep on top
the main
of
Kai ones with Hal, and I think I read one with Kyle Rayner in it.
Mm-hmm.
But not.
I think that was.
I'm not even going to try and guess the name of what the hell they were.
New Guardians.
Oh yeah, because he had all the powers or whatever. Yeah. So basically, Rebirth is DC's way of
apologizing.
Basically apologizing to fans.
Because the main thing was that they brought back the old Superman and kind of kept everything else.
So Jeff Johns, the architect of it, basically he's rewriting the history and smashing one together, post-crisis and the New 52 into a whole new universe. And basically now the way it works is it's bringing back a lot of things that people missed, and their big selling point was the hope and happiness in the universe of DC.
Yeah,
they feel like it was
that's what
gone.
was missing.
And I agree, it was very dark.
Which
in the 52.
Which is the exact same thing. Just pointing out that he has quoted himself several times saying for the movie universe that he's going to bring hope and optimism back to the movies, because they were sucked dry from the first 3 movies, right? Between Man of Steel, Superman, Batman, and Suicide Squad, they were just fucking. They were dark. Yeah, they were just sucked dry of hope and optimism. It was all gone.
Which is good.
He's doing that not just in the books, but in the movies too. He's putting it back in.
You need these books. The superhero books are supposed to be where you go to see characters do extraordinary things,
and they're supposed to be uplifting.
And they're supposed to be uplifting stories. If your superhero is a sad asshole,
you're not going to care.
What is the difference from your normal life?
Yeah, you're not going to care.
You're not going to care what these characters are
so
doing, and
I'm
that was
glad
Superman's problem. Is that he was just kind of a dick, and he was back to just being boring.
Yeah, he was.
They tried to, like, at the first little bit he came back and everyone was like, oh, he's edgy and he's a dick and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, okay, that's great. And this is interesting. And then he got boring again and just went back to being normal, boring Superman. And where he was walking. And now they've kind of merged those two together and it's a better character story. I'm liking Superman with his kid, with Lois Lane, and their whole dynamic of that.
Yeah,
it's very interesting. And it seems that they also brought back Wally West, the original Wally West.
Which is a big point of Rebirth.
Which is a big point of Rebirth because everyone hated what they did to Wally West. And I'm glad. I like Wally West. My first Flash is the Wally West Flash from the Justice League cartoon.
Yeah.
So that's where I knew him from and seen him in the books, and he was Flash for the longest time because Barry wasn't there.
Yeah, for us growing up, Barry wasn't around.
He was not. He was trapped in whatever the hell he was trapped in. But so when they did that, I was like, damn, this sucks. And the best example of this, we were at Comic-Con the year we went to this panel at Comic-Con.
Yeah, just before
because it was 52.
52 was coming out in September.
52, and there was a bunch of news. So we went to this panel to see what they were going to do and what their ultimate plan was. And this guy, to his credit, he was harping on these people about Wally West because he was pissed because he loved Wally West. He was like,
he had to have asked like 15 times, "Where's Wally? Where's Wally? Why is he not there?"
And the creator was just like, "He's gone and he's not coming back." And
I will say he never gave definitive answers of it.
No, he just
said he's not in the on the launch. He's not on the launch.
He said he was gone and
he's not coming back. Yeah.
And now he's back.
And now he's back.
Which is great. So they brought him back. They brought back the Blue Beetle. They fixed Superman. What else have they fixed? They fixed a whole bunch of things.
Well, they brought in
a bunch of stuff back in continuity.
Yeah, they brought in a lot into particularly Superman's continuity.
Yeah.
They cleaned up what was and what isn't.
They did also the same thing with the Justice League. They also brought back the JSA, which is great because they've been missing, I guess, in the past. Something to do with Johnny Thunder, who I didn't know was a character, but I guess he is.
Oh, yeah.
So, I guess I was reading about this earlier. His whole thing is he has this Speed Force, but he also has this wizard who he kind of did. Remember when Marvel got rid of the mutants and they had Scarlet Witch go, "No more mutants"? And he said unmasked, and it was kind of like a Watchmen type of deal.
Yeah.
Where he was like unmasked, and they just went into hiding, and no one knows where they are. So I guess he's in an old folks' home, and just hiding out there, and no one believes him because they think he's insane because no one has heard of the JSA in the new universe because they didn't exist on our Earth.
Yeah.
So I guess now this whole thing might have been the wizard heard him say that, and he was like, "Oh, okay," and he erased them all or trapped them somewhere. So they're working on bringing back them. They're also working on bringing back the Legion of Superheroes, which is a superhero team from the 30th century. Superman hangs out with them sometimes.
31st, yeah.
And I guess Saturn Girl is trapped in Arkham.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like Arkham current day, present day.
Arkham Asylum.
That's cool.
So, yeah, and I guess she's been getting hints and clues about 52 and Rebirth and things like that. So they're working on bringing back those stories, which now has them back in continuity. Booster Gold is also back in continuity. Like, all his stuff is back in the continuity. And I guess they just cleaned up a lot of stuff that didn't happen. And
they fine-tuned it.
Yeah,
what worked, works. What worked, so it's in. What didn't work is out. Exactly. And they clearly list kind of like, this is what's in and this is what's out. Like,
yeah, and there's so many articles everywhere talking about what is and what isn't. And one of the things they're trying to figure out is where Superboy falls in.
Superboy is not listed in the current... here's what's included in Superman's continuity. You got Death of Superman, Reign of the Superman,
which is where he
and Lois and Clark getting married. Even the destruction of Coast City by Cyborg, Superman, has returned to continuity.
Yeah.
But in the Reign of Superman story, Connor Kent, which is Superboy, does not appear in the flashes that we see in the image.
Yeah.
You don't see him, and everyone's speculating as to why he's not there, or are they holding him back for a bigger reveal rather than the one-page flash that the other characters got?
Well, see, here's now my thing on that. Because of
his actual son?
Well, that and the two Titan shows launching at some point, I do think they're going to push in.
Hold on to him until the launch of the new Teen Titans
the
and the live-action one. Yeah.
Because he's a mainstay in the main
Young Justice
TV
and stuff
show.
like that, yeah.
So having a streamlined team of him and whoever else may go a long ways to people being like, oh, I know these characters, I'll check out season 3 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what is going on with Rebirth is they're trying to figure out who's doing it. And it's heavily hinted, very heavily hinted that it's the Watchmen.
Well, it's been confirmed that the Watchmen are there.
Well, actually, it's not confirmed. I got a thing on here that they said it might be Superboy Prime.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That guy might be...
he's just fucking...
He might not have read anything, because I'm pretty sure it's very strongly confirmed that it's Watchmen.
I agree. But they were saying that it's Superboy Prime, like, fucking with everyone in the thing, saying that, oh, it is the Watchmen, but it's actually Superman Prime just dropping hints that it's the Watchmen.
Confusing them? He's
shit.
pulling the strings of the strings of the stringer.
Yeah, basically. He's just fucking with everyone. And, also Ray Palmer is back, for anyone who missed him.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Well, he's on the show, so they probably wanted a way to bring him back.
Yeah. Right? So it's heavily hinted that it was... so it wasn't Flashpoint that messed everything up like everyone initially thought, because they actually go into Flashpoint, and Batman meets his dad, and it's a very sad moment.
Pretty cool.
And tells him to stop being Batman, and as we know, Batman will not stop being Batman, so that's okay. So he goes into the timeline. They run back, they see a bunch of things, and they think it's a multiverse, and they're like, no, this is our universe, what's going on?
But just different.
Exactly. Very theorizes that whoever this is has stolen 10 years from us, and now Rebirth is trying to fix itself. And Mr. Manhattan, just screwing around, decides, hey, I'm going to screw around with this universe, and that's why he reset 52 as he did.
Mm-hmm. So
they're trying to fix that, and at some point, I'm assuming these characters will show up and do this. There's also Mr. Oz, who people have speculated that it is Ozymandias.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I'm going to read that. He's kidnapping people from various points in the DC universe and collecting them and locking them up, and nobody knows why. And Mr. Mixie-Plexus was locked up in there. He escaped, and he screwed with Superman for a bit. But also Tim Drake is in there.
Yeah,
and
Drake
that's the big thing, because everyone thinks Tim Drake is dead, but he's not. He's actually locked up in this prison, and he tries to escape. And as he tries to escape, he's shocked and awed about how many people he sees in this prison.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like
I wonder if Superboy's in there.
He very well could be.
That's
why Tim Drake would be like, oh, I know this guy.
Yeah.
He gets captured again, and Mr. Oz has also been the main catalyst for Superman as well.
Yeah, he's the one that he's the one that showing him kind of what is and isn't in continuity and stuff anymore.
So it does seem like he is a major key character that Jones has teased before in 52 issues, dates back. So it does seem like this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to introduce the Watchmen into the main universe.
New question. Your opinion on the Watchmen being brought into the DC?
See, I like the Watchmen, and it started out as a DC book with Batman, Superman, and that's how it was supposed to be. I'm not tied to the purest view of it, I don't want them in there. I actually really like it. I really like it, yeah. And I'm interested of them being in the comics. Rorschach being the complete, I want to say not more badass version of Batman, but being the darker Batman.
Yeah, in a way.
And I love him in the comic and in the movie as well. So him being in the main DC universe, I'm all for.
Yeah,
I'm if they do this bullshit I read the other day, it really pissed me off. If the comedian ends up being the Joker in this new continuity, I will be right the fuck pissed off.
Like one of the three is the comedian?
Or all three of them, supposedly. He's the comedian, and then he's all three Jokers.
Oh, well, that's fucking...
And that's dumb. Don't go and fix your shit and then screw it up by doing this.
That seems too out there that they would, like... I'm gonna say that's a no.
Yeah. Also, Rebirth has three Jokers, and we're gonna figure out how that is. And I'm kind of excited because it seems interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It has a whole kind of different dynamic to Batman has to fight three different Jokers at any given time and not knowing which one it is.
Yeah.
But and then I like that theory more of Joker just waking up on the day and deciding how crazy or not crazy he's going to be.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And I forget who said that, but I think they did it in a book or something, and it was just amazing. And that's what the Joker. He's so broken that is his plan. He just wakes up and goes, you know what? I may cut off my face, or I'll make a shitty thing where I capture a fish and put my face on it.
Yeah.
And, that's awesome as a character. So, final thoughts are Rebirth. Liking it, digging it, you're glad
I'm liking it. I'm liking what they fixed. I'm liking what they got rid of out of 52, because there was some stuff there I wasn't a big fan of.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. I'm on board.
I am too. I'm so glad they're like, hey, we're sorry we fucked up. Here is Wally West, here is a new 52, here's a new Superman, here's everyone that we took away and matched.
And I'm intrigued in the idea of 52 not being a reboot, because it wasn't. It was like a part of time in their lives with everything else already happening also.
Yeah.
Like, Rebirth is fucking smart.
It's the Muppet Babies.
Rebirth is fucking smart.
It is.
What they've done.
And it's helped them significantly get back fans and money.
Yeah, which is what you need.
Which is
like
what you need to get. We need money and technical know-how and some fans. So please, guys, so we're just going to wrap this up here. So please, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and just look for the Talking Bull. Anywhere you see that Talking Bull on social media, give us a follow. So we're going to wrap this podcast up. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And we will see you on the next Talking Bull podcast.
Bye.